So let's get you more detail then on what has happened very specifically over these overnight hours. First, to CNN's international diplomatic editor, Nick Robertson, near the scene of the hospital that has been damaged in Beersheba in Israel. And Nick, it is just after midday on day 7 of this conflict. Explain exactly where you are and what you are seeing and hearing.
Yeah, Becky, this is a 1,200-bed medical facility, serves a population of about 1 million people in southern Israel. It is the biggest medical facility. Soroka Medical Center took a direct hit, according to the director here. When I spoke to him a little earlier, he told me it hit the 5th floor of the hospital, that was the urology ward. He said, very fortunately, the hospital had been implementing, slowly moving patients in recent days to lower levels underground to make them safe. And he said, fortunately, the urology unit had been evacuated just yesterday. He said if that hadn't have happened, the casualty toll could have been far, far worse. He said the hospital has had extensive damage. Right now, it is effectively shut while they are doing mechanical and engineering inspections of the whole facility. There are tiny fragments of shrapnel all around on the ground here. But this being a hospital, the director told me he couldn't understand why it was hit. He said he was shocked that it was hit. There was no warning that it was going to be hit whatsoever. And we have seen a number of leading politicians in Israel arrive here. The president of Israel is touring the site right now. Itamar Ben-Gvir, the right-wing nationalist national security minister, has been here speaking as well. And I spoke to the Speaker of the Knesset, asking him if he thought that this was an intentional strike on the hospital.
Only hours ago, the Ayatollah regime of Iran targeted this hospital, which is a civilian hospital in the center of the civilian city of Beersheba, which is an extreme war crime. Every time that they target civilians is a war crime, but this is a specifically viciously one, and they will bear the consequences, because we have not, and we do not have any intentions to target civilians in Iran, and we made it very clear. We are after the regime, the Ayatollah regime, that is repeatedly saying they should annihilate the state of Israel. That we cannot afford.
So we're now into the 7th day of this conflict. It is the first time that we're aware that a major medical facility in Israel has been hit in these strikes, and it is very clearly raising the political temperature, raising the political rhetoric, and that one of the direct repercussions has been to raise the military tempo. The Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, as you said, calling for the IDF to step up the pace of their strikes. More than 50 aircraft, we're told, by the IDF were involved in strikes on Iran last night, on a number of facilities, including nuclear facilities. It is very clear, as if there were any doubt at this time, that Israel is in full front military mode. If there is diplomacy being discussed, it doesn't appear to be crossing desks in Israel at the moment, Becky.
Nick Robertson is in Beersheba, right outside that hospital that has been struck. Thank you, Nick. Also in Tel Aviv, Miri Eisen is a retired colonel in the Israel Defense Forces and a senior fellow at the International Institute for Counterterrorism. It's good to have you this morning. I really want to get some insight from you with Becky, your long experience with military and defense. Thank you. Defense Minister Katz has just said that he and Netanyahu have, quote, instructed the IDF to intensify strikes against strategic targets in Iran and against government sites in Tehran to, quote, remove the threats facing the state of Israel and, quote, destabilize the Ayatollah's regime. You will know better than most what those targets would be. So let's start there. Can you provide us some insight into thinking here?
What Israel has been attacking since June 13th, Friday morning, and consistently not just going back to the same sites, but expanding it, I'm going to call it 5 different types of targets, and that's what we are targeting. We're targeting the nuclear sites. We've attacked a lot of them. We haven't yet attacked all of them. We're going back to some of them. That's to really degrade and continue to demolish. There's a variety of nuclear sites inside Iran. The second element is that we have consistently been attacking different high-ranking decision makers in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. And in this case, when we say the regime, we're talking about the Mullah regime, and we're especially talking about that arm of the Mullah regime, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which includes both all of the different missile drone capabilities, what they're going to call air and space, and all of the nuclear decision makers there. So those are also targets. What we've expanded and been doing more of are the different installations where they make weapons, capabilities, all of the different elements in the nuclear weapon quest, in the missile, the long-term, long-range missiles. So these are all different types of targets. And last but not least at all is we're consistently targeting air defense systems, because what enables us, our capability to keep on attacking as we are, only against all of these different military type targets, is our air superiority. So we're attacking the air defenses, the nuclear, Iranian Revolutionary Guard figures, and everything that has to do with missiles and drones.
I want to get your sense on whether you think that targeting the supreme leader is still a possibility, despite the US president expressing opposition to that.
Listen, Khamenei for the last 35 years, and I follow his, we call it X now, his tweets. In a sarcastic way, Becky will say that everybody should follow his tweets because he's very clear, and this isn't from the last week. For the last 35 years, and ever since he can tweet, he calls for the annihilation of the Zionist entity. He calls us, and I'm being sarcastic, I'm the one saying it, that we're the cancer tumor of the world that needs to be eradicated. I don't think that he is absolved and that we can't attack him. Having said that, he is, and he's been the figure for the last 35 years. He is an inspiration as the ideology, both on the annihilation of Israel, on backing all of the proxies that they both give the weapons to, give the ideology to, tell them to continue to attack. Remember me, the illegal Zionist entity. And again, I apologize for being sarcastic. That never works well on TV. But I think that he is certainly somebody who could be attacked. I'm not sure how effective it would be, but it doesn't mean that he's immune.
And to just press this point, and I hear what you're saying there, how would Israeli officials be preparing for the potential aftermath of what would be a pretty seismic move?
So even if we don't kill him, and we may not, I'm going to be, again, just, matter of fact. The man is 88 years old. Becky, he's not going to be here forever. Thinking about who's going to replace Khamenei has been on everybody's minds for many years. I think that this regime, under Khamenei for 35 years, is very well structured to continue to be a harsh Islamic dictatorship over Iran. But let's be clear, it's Persian-speaking Iranians that are part of it. It's locals who are part of it. I'm sure that there are lots of people who totally oppose it. But when you have the reins of the regime, the capabilities, and you use it against your own people, whoever will come after him, the question will just be, for me, is he just as extreme as Khamenei or less? I don't think that you can be more extreme than Khamenei, certainly when it comes to the existence of Israel, but also in the way that he looks at all of the West. Just in the last few days, he's threatened the United States, the UK, Germany, France, that they shouldn't participate. And I'll remind you that the same missiles that have been attacking Israel, where we have air defense and where I'm not going to ever say we're used to it, but where we know how to act, they can reach Berlin or London, or for that matter, Beijing as well. So just take that into account when we think about who comes after.